in this tiny little bezel is a flash for the selfie camera. This is something we've not seen much of in recent times. So 120 Hz refresh panel, there's HDR support. It's the cheapest Snapdragon 732G available today. Motorola just took the wraps of two of their newest mid-ranges, the Moto G60 and the G40 Fusion. Today in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the G60. By the way, I am working with Moto on this, but I can assure you that there's nothing said in this video that I don't mean. So with that disclaimer out of the way, let's get the unboxing. So this is the Moto G60's box. It's a typical Motorola affair. The 108 megapixel camera seems to be the selling point here. So let's open it up and we are greeted by the G60 itself. This has the case on. Now let's peel that protective sticker off. Mine wasn't a sealed box, so maybe this is how it comes, or maybe the case is inside this little insert with the retail unit. Anyway, there is a case, right? Then we have a regular information booklets followed by a USB Type-C cable and a 20-watt charger that's included in the box. These days, that seems to be a huge selling point. This one has the 20 branding, so that's something new. And that's pretty much it for the unboxing. Let's now start with what's so unique about this phone. Spoiler alert, it's the price. The Moto G60 is priced at 18,000 rupees, and if you have an ICICI card, there's an instant 1500 rupee discount. With or without the discount, the specs appear very good for the price. So let's start with, well, there's no AMOLED panel here. But Moto's gone for an excellent IPS LCD panel. It's a 120 Hz refresh panel. There's HDR support. It's a 6.8-inch panel, so it's pretty huge. There's a tiny punch hole to the top. And inside this punch hole, there is a 32 megapixel selfie camera. And we'll get to that in a minute. The panel seems bright. It should be fine for outdoor use. And overall, whether it's watching videos or playing games, I kind of like this panel. I kind of like what Motorola has done here. Of course, they're calling it their Max Vision. That's their branding. Now, hidden up top in this tiny little bezel is a flash for the selfie camera. This is something we've not seen much of in recent times. This 32 megapixel sensor, it seems to do a fair job. It's got the same spot color feature that we've seen on the rear cameras. Portraits are pretty good. So overall, it's a competent shooter. Now to the back, we get three cameras. The primary is a 108 megapixel sensor that's paired with the f1.7 lens. This sensor does Nona binning, so it combines 9 pixels to 1 and it shoots 12 megapixels by default. The pixel size is quite large, and under good light, the performance seems nice too. The pictures appear detailed with good natural colors. The dynamic range also looks very good. The secondary camera, it's an 8 megapixel f2.2 ultra wide, 118 degree angle is what it captures. Again, it's pretty promising. The colors are close to the primary, which is something I always appreciate. This also happens to shoot macro, so it pulls double duty, and it does a fair job at that. The third camera, it's your token 2 megapixel depth sensor. With videos, we are capped to 4K at 30 FPS, and guys, if you notice this interface, we've got the controls taking a large part of the screen. So despite the overall footprint of this phone being big, still handling the camera single-handed felt quite easy. So whether it's snapping selfies or switching between stills and videos or accessing all the modes and settings, I was able to do that single-handed, and on a phone that's this big, that's something I do appreciate. From an optics perspective, Moto seems to have all bases covered with the G60. Now let's take a moment to talk about the nomenclature here. You know how we had the Moto G, G2, G3, G4, that series? The sequence has been broken here. Moto's kind of changed their naming to something similar to Samsung's mid-ranges. So the G40 Fusion is the lower spec option, the lower priced option, the G60 is the higher. So that's how they're going about it. Anyway, I just wanted to clarify that. Let's now come back to the build here. We have a plastic back. It's got these crazy reflections going for it. Looks attractive, but plastic is plastic. So it's going to be easier to scratch. It's also going to pick up fingerprints and smudges a lot easier. By the way, despite plastic, it's still a heavy phone, 234 grams, and that's largely due to the 6000 milliamp hour battery they've used. So while we are losing out on ergonomics, battery life at least should be good. This battery, it's paired with the 7nm Qualcomm chip, the Snapdragon 732G. There's 6 gigs of LPDDR4X RAM and 128 gigs of storage. They're supposed to be using UMCP, which is a one-chip solution integrating DRAM and storage, making for better power efficiency. The storage here, I am told we should be getting UFS 2.2 speeds. Now, will all these specs together be enough to push 120 frames a second consistently, especially with gaming? I'd be skeptical, but with the interface, it should be able to more often than not. The interface is pretty stock Android 11. Motorola calls this MyUX. There's no bloat whatsoever, no ads. Motorola's just got their Moto app and whatever tinkering they've done with the camera. Then there's FM radio support, and the interface seems reasonably fast. As always, Moto's provided a degree of customizability with the Moto app. Icons can be changed. There's support for the popular gesture functionality, like for example, shake to turn the flashlight on and off, swipe in and out for split screen, which kind of helps with multitasking, twist to turn the camera and swap between selfie and rear cameras, lift to wake, which is especially effective when combined with face unlock. And talking about face unlock, for biometrics, you also get a fingerprint scanner. This one is present to the back and buried beneath this Moto logo. The placement is fine and it feels quite responsive. Now, talking about placements, we have 3 keys to the right: power, volume, and a dedicated Google Assistant key, which sadly is unremappable. The headphone jack is also present, and that's up top alongside the secondary noise cancelling mic. To the left, we have a hybrid slot. And as evident from this rubber grommet here, Motorola continues to provide a water-resistant nano coating. To the bottom, there's the primary mic, USB Type-C port, and a speaker. So that's the Motorola Moto G60. The Moto G40 Fusion, it's a pretty similar phone. It loses out on NFC compared to the G60. The 32 megapixel selfie camera is swapped with the 16 megapixel selfie camera. Instead of the 108 megapixel primary, we get a 64 megapixel primary. And everything else is exactly the same. Apart from 6128 with the G40 Fusion, there's also a 464 variant. So those are the only differences, barring that it's gonna look exactly like this. Now, the price is of course different. The G40 Fusion starts at 14,000 rupees and it gets a 1,000 rupee discount for ICICI cards. So that seems to be pretty good value too. In fact, Motorola is pretty proud to mention this. It's the cheapest Snapdragon 732G available today. Now, I should be getting my hands on the G40 Fusion as well pretty soon. Would you guys want me to review that? Between these two phones, which one would you want me to review if I had to choose one? Leave a comment below. So that's the G60 and the G40 Fusion. What do you guys think of Motorola's new launches? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know. And do you feel they should have done something differently? Do you feel this is just perfect as is? Let me know your thoughts. And with that, we get to the end of this quick little hands-on unboxing. Thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt about the video. Subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that bell icon if you haven't yet. And thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name is Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.